Hello, champions. Welcome to The Secret of a Winner, the channel where we uncover the principles that transform anyone into a true champion in life. In today's video, you'll discover the Stoic secret to achieving everything you desire by learning to master your mind, cultivate virtue, and use every obstacle as a springboard to success. But before we dive into this journey of self-mastery, do the channel a favor, subscribe now, give us a like, and hit the notification bell to be the first to receive all the strategies that will take you to the next level. 1. Distinguish what is within your control. At the heart of Stoicism lies the idea that life can be divided into two parts: what is within our control and what is not. This distinction, proposed by Epictetus, is revolutionary because it invites us to stop wasting energy trying to change the uncontrollable, like others' opinions, the past, or external events. Instead, we should focus on our conduct, on how we choose to react to what happens. When we understand this, we stop being victims of circumstances. Anxiety decreases because our mind is no longer fighting the inevitable. Imagine you're stuck in traffic. You can get irritated, and suffer, or accept it and use the time to reflect. The choice is in your hands. This self-control is what Stoicism wants to awaken. To master your response is to master your life. That's inner freedom. 2. Focus on inner excellence, virtue. For the Stoics, the only truly valuable thing is virtue, that is, living according to reason and goodness. Virtue isn't rigid moralism, but the daily practice of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These four pillars form the foundation of a good life because they are completely within our control. The world can take everything from you, possessions, status, health, but it can never take your moral integrity. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, faced wars and personal tragedies, yet constantly reminded himself that his mission was to be just and honest, regardless of what happened. Inner excellence doesn't depend on applause, achievements, or recognition, but on being true to your values. When we act with virtue, we experience a peace that cannot be bought. Stoicism teaches that true success is not about having more, but about becoming better as a human being. 3. Detach from the outcome, but not the action. Stoics believed we should act with full effort and dedication, but without attaching ourselves to the final result. This isn't resignation, it's freedom. When you place your happiness only in the outcome, a promotion, a relationship, a material goal, you become a slave to something you don't fully control. Instead, the focus should be on doing what's right, doing your best, and then calmly accepting whatever comes. That's acting with intention but without anxiety. For example, you study hard for a test, give it your all, but the outcome depends on many factors. You can't control them all. Stoicism teaches that your victory lies in the honest effort, not the grade. By letting go of the outcome, you work with more presence, less fear of failure, and more love for the process. And ironically, this often leads to better results. 4. Use obstacles as the path, amor fati. Stoicism views challenges not as enemies but as teachers. The Stoic philosophy teaches the principle of amor fati, love of fate. This means accepting everything that happens as necessary and useful for our growth, even when it's painful. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles are the ground on which virtue is forged. A broken heart teaches empathy. A failure teaches humility. A loss teaches detachment. Stoics didn't want a life without difficulties, but a mind strong enough to use each challenge as fuel to become better. When something bad happens, instead of asking why me, the Stoic asks, how can I use this to grow? That's the true inner strength that transforms suffering into wisdom. In Stoicism, understanding what is under our control transforms how we approach life. When we realize that only our actions, choices, and judgments belong to us, we stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable. Peace arises when we recognize we are not responsible for the wind, for others' opinions, or for external events. We start investing in what we can improve: our discipline, our reaction to adversity, and our stance in the face of challenges. This awareness fosters an attitude of serenity, because we release the burden of unrealistic expectations. A mind trained to distinguish control from the uncontrollable becomes immune to unnecessary suffering. Thus, inner freedom blooms when we focus on the only territory that truly belongs to us, ourselves. By practicing this discernment daily, we become architects of our own tranquility, building an unshakable refuge amid external chaos. When we direct our focus to inner excellence, we embrace the true wealth of the spirit. Stoic virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance is a foundation that supports our actions, no matter what the world offers us. It's not about moral rigidity but about living in alignment with universal principles of good and reason. Each day offers opportunities to practice virtue in simple choices: how to treat someone with kindness, how to remain firm in the face of fear, or how to act fairly in a negotiation. These moral exercises refine our character, creating an inner fortress that nothing can take away. Even if we lose possessions, prestige, or health, our integrity remains intact. In this loyalty to our values, we find true satisfaction, for personal dignity outweighs any fleeting achievement. Cultivating virtue is planting seeds of fulfillment that permanently bloom within us. Detaching from the outcome, but not the action, is freeing yourself from invisible chains that bind you to the future. By dedicating ourselves fully to a task without tying our happiness to the result, we gain lightness and presence. We study for an exam, for example, with the intensity of someone who knows that their own effort is the only controllable variable, while the result is subject to many contingencies. In this state of full engagement, we learn from each mistake without torment, and celebrate each success without arrogant pride. Detachment doesn't inhibit ambition, it redirects our longing toward doing things well. When the fruit doesn't come, we understand that the true success was already in the commitment to the excellence of action. This mindset reduces anxiety and frustration because we learn that our greatest responsibility is for the process, not the final product. Thus, the Stoic perseveres, motivated by the virtue of effort, not by the expectation of reward. To live a more fatty means to embrace destiny with gratitude, even when it challenges us. Every obstacle, no matter how harsh, carries within it the opportunity to strengthen our minds and refine our wisdom. Illness teaches patience, financial hardship fosters resilience, emotional loss guides us toward detachment. By welcoming what happens as an essential part of our path, we transform pain into a catalyst for growth. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that what blocks the path becomes the path itself. This attitude turns every misstep into a step toward virtue. Cultivating love for fate takes practice. Instead of complaining about misfortune, we ask how it can shape us for the better. In this way, adversity becomes a relentless but fair teacher, guiding us to higher levels of self-knowledge and inner strength. In everyday life, applying these ideas boosts our resilience. By identifying every stressful situation, whether a delay, an unexpected criticism, or a routine disruption, we can pause and ask, is this under my control? If the answer is no, we choose inner silence. If it's yes, we take virtuous action. This ongoing exercise sharpens our ability to decide rationally, reducing impulsive reactions. Similarly, by cultivating the 4 Stoic virtues in everyday tasks, we strengthen our inner harmony and external reputation through example. Detachment from outcomes allows us to pursue ambitious goals without being paralyzed by fear, while love for fate guides us to extract lessons from every setback. Integrating these principles takes consistency, but it creates a serene mind and an indomitable spirit. When we turn every challenge into an opportunity, we develop a worldview where adversity is welcome. For example, a conflict at work can be seen as a lesson in justice and patience, harsh criticism as an invitation to wisdom and humility, a performance error as a prompt for the courage to start again. Adopting this mindset enhances creativity and problem-solving abilities, as we stop seeing barriers and start seeing levers for growth. The wise Stoic does not seek to escape pain but to extract from it the pure mineral of virtue. In this way, our existence gains depth and purpose. With each obstacle overcome, our self-image strengthens, and a virtuous cycle is reinforced. The final secret of Stoicism, therefore, is to love everything that happens, success and failure, as essential pieces of a lifelong journey of refinement. This commitment to virtuous, detached, and accepting action creates real-world results. Leaders who practice Stoicism leave lasting legacies because they inspire through example and remain calm in crises. High-performance athletes apply detachment from outcomes to compete with focus and without paralyzing anxiety. Entrepreneurs absorb failures as lessons and reinvent their businesses with resilience. Personal relationships become more authentic when each person takes responsibility for their own behavior and respects the natural flow of events. Inner serenity echoes outward in creativity, empathy, and ethical leadership. Thus, paradoxically, by giving up the fight against the uncontrollable and prioritizing virtue, we end up achieving everything that truly matters: a full, meaningful, and harmonious life. Daily practice of these Stoic teachings requires quiet discipline. One can begin right upon waking by spending a few minutes contemplating the potential challenges of the day and visualizing them as opportunities to apply virtue. During the day, whenever adversity arises, one can pause, breathe, and ask, "What virtue does this situation require of me?" This daily mental training shapes a resilient character, capable of responding rather than reacting. In the evening, a brief reflection helps to consolidate progress. What did I do well? What could I have done better? What lesson did I learn? These simple but powerful practices cultivate a mind that is calm amidst chaos and firm in purpose. Stoicism, then, is not a theory for reading only in books, but a compass for real life, practical, transformative, and deeply human. By integrating the four principles, distinguishing what is in your control, focusing on virtue, letting go of outcomes, and loving your fate, you build a foundation that can support you through any storm. You stop living at the mercy of external events and begin to live in alignment with your highest values. You become not only a survivor of challenges, but a master of them. The Stoic is not indifferent; they are deeply engaged with life, but not enslaved by it. Their power lies in choice, their peace in acceptance, and their greatness in consistency. So, if you're ready to become the architect of your own inner fortress, start applying these Stoic lessons today. Transform your mindset, refine your actions, and see how each obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward your highest potential. And now, I want to hear from you. Which of these Stoic teachings spoke to your heart the most? Leave a comment below and share your reflections. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next secrets to becoming a true winner in life. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and always move forward with virtue.